Okay, this is going to be a review of how to plot points on a coordinate plane, which you learned in Algebra 1. So first of all, we have the coordinate plane here. And if you recall, the axis that runs horizontally is the x-axis. And the axis that runs vertically is our y-axis. Also, if you recall, we have 4 quadrants on a coordinate plane. We have the first quadrant, quadrant 1, then we have quadrant 2, and we have quadrant 3, and lastly we have quadrant 4. Those are our 4 quadrants in the coordinate plane. Now, coordinate points. If you recall, when we write a coordinate point, the first point is the x part, and the second part is the y. And so if I want to plot a point, let's say 3, 0, then that means that on the x-axis, I'm going to go to the 3, and on the y-axis, I'm going to go to the 0. So I'm going to start first with the x, and I'm going to go over to positive 3 on the x-axis, and my y value is 0, which means I'm going to plot my point right there. Now, let's just plot a few more. So if I want to plot, let's say, -2, 4, remember that means that -2 is on the x-axis and 4 is on the y. So I'm going to go to -2 on the x-axis and +4 on the y, which means I'm going to go up 4. And there's my point. That's -2, 4. Okay, next. If I need to describe where those points that I just plotted, where they are located, I'm going to go to 3, 0 first. That one is located on an axis, and specifically that's on the x-axis. Now, if I were describing where the other point is located, I can see it's here, and we already said that that's quadrant 2. So I would describe -2, 4 as in quadrant 2. Next, we also sometimes have points that are already plotted, like let's say this point right here. So if I already have that point plotted, I need to determine what the coordinates are. So if I'm looking at that point, I can see that remember, x comes first, and that point has not been shifted to the left or to the right at all. So that means that the x part of the point is 0. Okay, it is right on 0. Now I'm looking up and down, and I see that it was down 4, which means the y part of the point is -4. So 0, -4 is the coordinate point. That coordinate point, if I were to describe it, is located on the y-axis. Okay, so that's your refresher for how we plot points, or if points are already plotted, how we determine what the coordinates are. I'd like you now to try pages 21 and 22 in your packet, problems 1, 3, and 5.